Hello, people of the internet! Today we are starting our Pokemon Fire Red version Nuzlocke challenge. Now, this is a Nuzlocke challenge that I will be playing through Pokemon Fire Red version, obviously. However, there's a little bit of a twist to it, in that my sister will also be playing a Nuzlocke challenge through Leaf Green version at the same time. And we'll be battling each other after every gym along the way. And essentially, in addition to regular Nuzlocke rules, we're going to have some special rules for whenever we meet each other, which will be pretty cool. But I'll get into that later on when we get closer to actually fighting each other. For now, let's just go over the regular Nuzlocke rules for those who don't know. Now, a Nuzlocke challenge in Pokemon is a set of self-imposed rules intended to make the game a bit more challenging. Because, you know, it is a kid's game, so adding a bit of a challenge is a fun little twist to make it more interesting for people of my age. Now, the Nuzlocke rules kind of vary from gameplay to gameplay, and it really kind of just depends. So, let me just put... There we go. So it really kind of depends from gameplay to gameplay, but there's two rules that are basically standard, always. The first rule is that whenever a Pokemon faints, it is considered to be dead. You can never use it again. You either have to put it in a box and never touch it, or release it into the wild, or something like that. You just can never use it again, ever. That's the first rule of a Nuzlocke run. Now, some people will put it in a box and only take it out if they need it for an HM or something. Like, there's some points of the game where you cannot advance if you don't have Strength, or if you don't have Flash or Surf or something. And if your last Pokemon with that ability dies, and you can't teach it to anyone else, then you can't advance in the game. So some people will leave their dead Pokemon in the box specifically for that reason. I'm not going to do that, not for this version anyway, maybe in one of the later generations, because in my personal opinion, if you cannot advance further in the game, then you lose. That's it, you know, it's game over. But that's just me. The second Nuzlocke rule, because the first one, obviously, being able to permanently lose Pokemon is a pretty big deal, but the second Nuzlocke rule is that you can only catch the first Pokemon that you encounter in every new area, and nothing else. Right. So, if someone dies, you can't just go out and replace them. You know, you have a limited number of teammates, and that's all there is to it. You know, if everyone dies, it's over. And those are the two main rules of any Nuzlocke run. The third rule, unofficial rule, is nicknames. You have to nickname all your Pokemon. That's just to make the game more emotional. You're attached to these teammates because these are really the only teammates you're going to get. You know, that's the entire game. Yeah, okay. Turdman is my rival's name. It is tradition that the rival is always named something offensive. That is... You have to do that. Now, Pokemon is a family-friendly game, and I am trying to maintain a family-friendly image, so Turdman is as offensive as I'm willing to go on that. But, you know, I've seen some pretty pretty bad ones out there. Okay. So let's just move forward here. Now I am going to go through basically the entire game. This is a Nuzlocke / walkthrough. Mostly talking about what I'm doing and why, because I can't really think of what else to say. I'm not creative with the talkie. Oh, never mind. Now the PC allows you to store items and store Pokemon later on in the game, once you have enough to actually store. So that's what the PC does, and at the very beginning of the game, there is a potion in it that you can withdraw from the PC. The technology involved with digitizing physical objects is beyond me, but whatever. First thing you do in the game is talk to Mom. She tells you how Professor Oak, your neighbor, was looking for you. You can go next door to Professor Oak's lab, but your rival, Turdman, will be there and just tell you that, oh, Grandpa's not here right now, come back later. Right, more or less. What's he saying? Oh, it's only you? Yeah, Gramps isn't around. Okay. And you can wander around town, talk to everyone, explore, but ultimately, the only way to advance the story is to try to leave. Because you'll get some background information, like here's Turdman's house, and his sister's in there and everything, but ultimately there's nothing important here unless you try to leave, in which Professor Oak will stop you. It tells you how the grass is dangerous and you need to have a Pokémon for your own protection. And he'll take you over to his lab and give you a Pokemon. Now there is a joke to be made about Professor Oak's memory. I have made it several times before because, if I'm being completely honest, I have recorded this episode multiple different times and I just keep running into recording issues or uploading issues because YouTube's stupid. So this is, I've had multiple takes here, so I don't want to get too far into the same joke that I've told it 100 times, even though if not everyone has heard it 100 times. But essentially, Oak is a senile old man who forgets everything. He forgot his grandson's name at the beginning of the game. That's why you select your rival's name, it's because Professor Oak can't remember it. And he forgot that he invited his grandson over to visit today. And later on he's going to forget more stuff about his grandson, and he's just a forgetful guy throughout the entire game. So that's something to keep in mind, I guess. He has 3 Pokemon left and he wants to give me 1. He used to have a lot, now he only has 3. And your rival is upset that he doesn't get 1 too. Now, in a Nuzlocke run, well, it really doesn't matter, but some people will use a randomizer to determine what Pokemon they get. They'll roll a die or something like that. I'm going to do something similar. At the beginning of every Pokemon game, you are given a random trainer ID number. For each trainer gets their own ID number. You open the menu and go to your trainer's name, and they'll have the ID number there. Now, you've seen me since I started the game, so you know I haven't looked at it yet. Now, I am going to go with, if it's a 1, 2, or 3, I'll go with Bulbasaur, because that's 1, 2, and 3. Bulbasaur and his evolutions are 1, and 2, and 3 in the Pokedex. And then if it's a 4, 5, or 6, I'll go with Squirtle, because Squirtle is 2nd in the Pokedex. That's their numbers in the Pokedex. And if it's a 7, 8, or 9, I'll go with Charmander. So that will be what I'll do. And if it's 0, I'll look at the 2nd digit in my trainer ID and use that digit instead. So I'll just look at the first digit and see what it is, and use that to determine what my choice is here. So it'll be pretty random, because I've played the game before with all 3 of them, not as a Nuzlocke run, but as a regular playthrough, so I know how to run basically all 3 of them. So let's just see what I have here. 3, 3, 8, 5, 8. Okay, so it's a 3, that means I will be Bulbasaur. So let me hack out here. And Bulbasaur it's a pretty good choice, actually, for a Nuzlocke run, if you've never done a Nuzlocke run before, which I have attempted one, but I never completed one before. I lost my recording halfway through, and I just lost motivation to continue the run after that. So this is my 2nd attempt at a Nuzlocke run, but I do know that Bulbasaur is the better choice for a Nuzlocke run, at least in this version of the game, because the first 2 gyms are both weak to grass. Which is good. So, what do I want to name it? Well, one of the first Nuzlocke runs I ever saw was done by a YouTube group, or YouTube channel, called Super Carlin Gaming. Of course, I was watching them before they started the gaming portion of their channel. They were the Super Carlin brothers. But essentially, and they do theory videos about movies and stuff, But in honor of their Nuzlocke run, I will be naming my starter, Carlin, in honor of them. Jay Carlin being the one who did the Nuzlocke run on the Super Carlin Gaming Pokemon channel, or gaming channel. Of course, your rival is always going to pick the one that is strong to whatever you have. And then when you try to leave, you can talk to Oak and you can talk to your rival, it doesn't matter. But when you try to leave, your rival's going to try to fight you. And they'll give you a tutorial here on how to fight Pokemon. At this point, all I can do is tackle, and all he can do is scratch at me. I know Tail Whip and he knows Growl, I think, as well, but neither of those are damaging attacks. And because I am playing on an emulator, I can actually speed up through this part, because I know how to play the game. Okay, so I can just skip that. And that's actually pretty decent damage. I wonder what my stats are on this thing. Because there is a slight amount of randomness involved. If you know how Pokemon works, there's IVs and EVs and all sorts of math that I'm not going to get into here because it is pretty complex. Okay, that is not cool. Now, I hate using my potion, especially in the very first fight of the game. But that, if you win this fight, which I should backtrack a little bit here. A lot of times the first fight against your rival is not counted in a Nuzlocke run because there's nothing you can do about it. It's just kind of luck which one of your two Pokemon is faster, really, because you're just attacking each other back and forth. So a lot of times this first fight doesn't count. And if I fainted there, I wouldn't have stopped playing either. I mean, I would still continue the game. So I wouldn't have counted that either, but this level right here makes all the difference in your trek to the first city. So you really need to win your first battle against your rival. It is a huge help in a Nuzlocke run. In a regular run, whatever, it doesn't matter. But in a Nuzlocke run, you want to get every bit of experience you can get. So it's a shame I had to use that potion, especially in a Nuzlocke run, because you also want to keep every healing item you can get too. Kind of have to balance it out a little bit. But you know, that's just how it is. Now the next portion of the game, let me check his stats because I'm curious what we have here. Rash nature, I have no idea what that does. I don't know the natures by heart. I really should, but whatever. Has Overgrow. Okay. Which is normal for a Bulbasaur. I wouldn't expect anything else. Okay, well. I didn't really learn much from looking at that. But the next portion of the game is to continue down Route 1. If you talk to this guy, he will give you a potion. It's a free sample for the Pokemart in Viridian City, which is a potion, yes, a free sample, but it's also a hint that you should visit the Pokemart in Viridian City, which is the next plot point in the game, the next thing you have to do to advance the story. Now, the catching the first thing you encounter in every route rule that comes with every Nuzlocke does not actually start until you get your Pokeballs. Because I can't possibly capture this because I don't have Pokeballs yet. So this doesn't count against me. I can still catch something in Route 1. It just not until I come back later with Pokeballs, essentially. So we're in Viridian City now. It's a pretty short path. And the first thing you should do every time you enter a new town is to go to the Pokemon Center. The Pokemon Center will heal you. If you haven't played Pokemon before, it's the hospital. And they will, heal you up. And later on, once you know how to fly, fast travel between places, it will allow you to teleport between different Pokemon Centers. Is what the fly ability does. So you have to have been to that Pokemon Center in order to register it on your map to be able to fly there. So that's important too. But the next plot point is to go to the Pokemart, and the store owner has a package to give to Professor Oak, because there is no Pokemart in Pallet Town, your hometown. So he gives you the package, the parcel, and wants you to go deliver to Professor Oak, and really that's all you can do at this point in the game. Technically, if you go over to the left here, you can see that the path up here is blocked by a guy in a coma, and you can't really talk to this guy yet because the guy in the coma is blocking the path, but if you go up there and try to look at the gym, essentially the gym is locked. The gym leader has gone missing, and no one knows where he is. You could go over this way and fight your rival again, but he's leveled up quite a bit since just a few minutes ago in Oak's lab. So the next thing we really need to do is just go back and deliver that parcel. That's the only thing we can do at the moment. So I'm going the long way around through the grass on purpose, just to get a little bit more experience for my Bulbasaur, for Carlin. In a regular run, it's not really quite as important. There are some areas where you might want to grind a bit, but ultimately it's not a huge deal. Like, Pokemon is a kid's game. The game is relatively easy throughout the entire thing. But in a Nuzlocke run, you want as many levels as you can get, because if something happens to Carlin, if I fight an enemy that is significantly stronger than me, then I'm in trouble. So I'm going to go over to Oak's lab and give him the parcel. And he asks how the Pokemon's doing, how it's attached to me, and how all that's cool. And I deliver the parcel. Okay, great. Custom Pokeball he had on order. Then Turdman comes in. And again, Professor Oak forgot that he even invited Turdman over. So he's going to give us the Pokedex. The Pokedex is an encyclopedia. It just lists all the Pokemon in order, basically. And he wants us to go out and see as many Pokemon as we possibly can. And that is the point of the game, is to catch them all. Now, in a Nuzlocke run, that's not going to happen. It's just not. Okay? Because you can only catch the first thing you encounter in each area. So that's just it. That's the rules. So that's not happening. But he did give me Pokeballs to start catching things with. So from this point on, the first thing you encounter in each area rule applies. So, whatever I run into on Route 1 on the way back up to Viridian City, I'm going to catch, or try to. Now, the goal of the game is to, again, complete the Pokedex, or at least that's part of the goal of the game. The real plot, and I use that word loosely, involves getting all 8 gym badges and fighting the Elite Four to become the Pokemon champion. But that you learn more about here in a minute. Now, Turdman is being not at all subtle about saying you should go talk to his sister about getting a map, and being a jerk about it, as usual. But that's exactly what you're going to do. The map isn't really helpful for anything if you know this game, and I have played this game once before, so I do know the world of the game pretty well. But if you have never played this game before at all, and need to know where to go, then the map does actually help a little bit, because the routes are all numbered, obviously, so it gives you a general idea of where to go. There are some areas where you do have to go out of order on the route numbers, which might confuse some people, but generally speaking, you can figure out where you need to go by looking at the map. And what am I going to get? What I'm going to get is my first capture of the game. A Pidgey, a level 4 Pidgey. That's actually pretty strong, considering everything else here is like level 2. So I'm going to tackle it. Okay, I'm going to tackle it again, and then it can survive that. Okay. It can survive that, but I can't survive another one of those. So I'm going to throw a Pokeball at it. And hope for the best. Rocks once, rocks twice, rocks 3 times, and captured. Now, the only options I could have gotten on this route is this Pidgey or the Rattata. Now, neither one of them are really great. Okay, I need to come up with a name for a Pidgey. Female Pidgey. Peggy the Pidgey. Done. Now I'm gonna go back home to rest at the house, heal up. Because if you don't know, you can talk to Mom and she will heal you. That way, get out. Okay. The beginning of the game is a bit of a challenge, just simply because you can't really take much. Every attack does like a quarter of your health, and you know the first part of the game is going to be tough on you, and that's just kind of how it's going to be, essentially. But once you get past really the first gym, the game becomes much easier. And there will still be challenges, of course, but the first gym is the real testing point, past the introduction of the game. Now, I should be learning my first grass-type move at level 7. And then, miss, of course. Can speed through some of the fights here, just for the sake of time, because I'm hoping to be able to challenge my rival at the end of this episode. In fact, I might do some grinding off screen specifically for that purpose, because this is... You want to be around level 9, or you know, between 7 and 9, to challenge your rival the second time. Okay, but challenging your rival is when you first get a general idea of what you need to do next for the game, essentially. So as I mentioned before, if you go off to the left out here, you can fight him. But first, I'm going to go up here and pick up this potion. And yeah, I did speed up there. That, you know. Now, there is something more I can catch in this grass here. It's either going to be a Rattata, a Mankey, or a Spearow. And I think it's 15% chance for Spearow, 45 for Mankey, and 40 for Rattata, I think? Something like that. But we'll run in here and see what comes up first. I'm kind of hoping for the Mankey. That'll be extra helpful against the first gym, which is Rock type. And Mankey is a fighting type Pokemon. And this is really the only chance we'll get a fighting type for a long time. The next fighting type you'll come across isn't until the Rock Tunnel, which is, you know, 3 badges into the game, 4 badges into the game. So it's going to be a while before we get any other fighting types. So I'm going to walk in here and hope for the best and see what comes up. Spearow would not be too bad. It's pretty powerful flying type, but I already have a flying type in Peggy. So, you know, we'll just kind of see. And Rattata is probably worst case scenario, because, yeah, and of course, there it is. Just because Rattata doesn't really learn that much of anything useful. Of course, it's better than nothing, so I am going to catch it anyway. But it's just... It could be so much better if I had a Mankey or something. But oh well. Carlin is Grass type, which gives me an advantage over Brock and Misty, the first 2 gyms of the game. So I'll be fine. I'm not too worried about it. If I had started with Charmander as my starter, then I would be really upset at not having that that fighting type, because I would more or less need it. I don't know why I did that. I'm not really paying attention to what I'm doing. Okay, well, it's time to throw a Pokeball, I think, because he's in the yellow. Let's go to the bag, Pokeball. Let's just speed this up. No? Oh. Now, Rattata does have a surprisingly high, or low, I guess, catch rate. It's surprisingly resistant. Like, might use up a lot of balls trying to catch it, but no, not too many. Just wasted one, really. So I still have 2 left, which is fine. And you have to give a nickname to everything. I'm gonna go with, Ratigan. That is the villain from Disney's The Great Mouse Detective. I might have spelled it wrong. I don't really care. Okay, so let's level up a little bit. And, you know, it would have been so nice to have gotten that first, but that's okay. Okay, gonna get some pretty helpful experience. The Mankey gives some pretty good experience, it looks like. Okay, so I'm gonna switch out to Peggy. Just because, okay, and now I'm gonna run. So that did not go really as planned, but I did get away. I kind of got greedy with experience and almost died. But, you know, keyword there is almost, so I'm okay, I'm fine. I'm satisfied. Now, I don't want to go up there yet, because going up is where the rival is. And that would not be a great way to, not a great thing to do right now. Okay, so I'm level 8. I'm going to go to my Pokemon now and switch Peggy up to the front. So I'm just going to do that. And, okay, here comes more Rattata. But doing this is just to give Peggy some experience too. Okay, I'm going to have to switch into Carlin though, because Peggy is still not strong enough to take these guys on her own. So I'm going to have to do some switch training, which is, again, for those, what, one of you out of however many who watch this who have never played Pokemon before, Pokemon get experience just by being out on the field during the battle. So if you switch into something else partway through the fight, then the first Pokemon will still get experience. It's just divided in half, basically. Okay. And I'm hoping Peggy can like, if we run into it level 2 or something, I'm going to let Peggy take it. Because dividing the experience in half actually hurts a lot more than it helps, you know? Because it's a pretty significant divide there. So going it solo is definitely the better way to do things if you can. Sand attack, it's kind of useless. Okay, 31 experience. Oh, another one. I didn't even move. Level 6, awesome. Now I kind of want to get Peggy up to level 9 at least before fighting the rival, because 9 is when Pidgey learns Gust, and for those of you who don't know, I'm kind of using Bulbapedia as sort of where I'm getting this information from. Now, I don't have it pulled up at the moment, I just kind of looked over some general information at the beginning before I started, because I knew the chances were I was going to catch a Pidgey or a Rattata right off the bat, because that's the only things you can catch in the first 2 areas. So I did look into those things, and I'll do a little bit more research as I get further into the game, but just so I know what to plan for, so to speak. Now, this speeding up button is really helpful, but I'm afraid I might overexert myself and end up killing myself on accident. So I am worried about that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and heal just to be safe. Get out of the way, kid. And then, but this is going a lot faster than because, like I said, I did have a run before this, but because of recording issues and stuff like that, I had to start all over. So this is actually going a lot faster grinding than it did the last time I tried to do this. Because I already have a level 8 and a level 9 right there. Now, getting Radigan up might take a little bit longer because he's lower level than Peggy was to start with. But it shouldn't be too bad. And, you know, I haven't seen a Spearow in here yet. That is really unusual, because I know Spearow's in this grass. But oh well, I guess that's not really important, because I already caught something from this grass. Okay, come on. There we go. And instead of Carl, I'm going to switch into Peggy. Just because Peggy is, you know, significantly stronger. Okay. Not significantly stronger, but, you know, Carlin took a few hits there. But now, both of my leveled Pokemon are in the yellow there. So I'm gonna heal up and then come back. Okay, switch over to Peggy again. This may end up taking a while, even with the speeding up. So let's just... Oh, there's our first Spearow. That took significantly longer than it should have, but that's okay. Switch over to Peggy. Okay. I know that fighting types are weak to flying types, but Peggy was hurt, so I didn't want to switch into her. She probably could have taken the scratch, but I don't know that she'd be able to take anything else after that, so I didn't want to risk it. And that's kind of the name of the game with a Nuzlocke run is you don't want to risk it, you know. Yeah, if I can take them out solo, I definitely want to do that. Because that's a significantly more experience. But that's not happening here. Okay, Radigan's level 6 now. Still no Quick Attack. I kind of expected him to learn Quick Attack at 6. I guess I don't really know the level table as well as I thought I did. That's fine. I'm sure I'll learn it before level 8 or 9 when I go to... No, I don't want to use Carlin. This guy knows Peck. There we go. Peggy's turning out to be my strongest guy. Or girl, I guess. Okay. Alrighty. I don't know how that hit Radigan so hard, but... Maybe Radigan has really low defense. I didn't look at that. Because, like I said, there is some randomness involved. Some Pokemon of the same species will have different stats from one another at the same level, just because of the random generator in the game. Their genetics is the best way to explain it. Okay, come on. Oh, that was almost level. Critical. Level 7. Quick Attack. There's Quick Attack. Okay. I'm thinking once Radigan gets level 8, which he's about to do, I'm going to go ahead and... Oop. There we go, level 8. I'm going to go ahead and heal at the Pokemon Center, and then go up and find my rival, and that'll be a good place to end this first episode. That sounds like a plan to me. I actually considered just cutting out all the grinding altogether, because that last like 10 minutes, 15 minutes was kind of, well, not 15 minutes, probably 5 to 10 minutes, was kind of a waste of time. But, you know, it was something interesting. Here comes the rival. If you're off to see the Pokemon League, well, forget about it. You don't have any badges, do you? Do you? They just turned you away too, didn't they? The guard won't let you through without them. By the way, did your Pokemon get any stronger? And then you're gonna fight to find out. Because he's a jerk and that's just the way he does things. But he does only have 2 Pokemon while I have 3. So advantage me. Except that one of his Pokemon, both of his Pokemon have a type advantage over Carlin. Because Flying type is strong against grass, and of course Fire type is also strong against grass. So I'm going to have to rely largely on Radigan and Peggy for this fight. Of course it missed. Sand Attack is a very cheap move, but it always seems to be more effective when the enemy does it than when you do it. Now, Peggy does have the Keen Eye ability that prevents her accuracy from being lowered for any reason, which is pretty cool. So, the enemy's Sand Attack is kind of useless, but so is mine, because his Pidgey also has the same ability. Okay. Radigan gained 52, Peggy gained 52. Charmander, at this point, should have Ember. I'm gonna use Gust, I guess? I don't really know which is the best option here. Missed. Of course it missed. And at this point, I'm in danger, because if he crits here, Peggy's down. So I'm going to switch into Radigan. And go for a quick attack here. Okay. Oh, so close. That's fine, this is fine. Tackle... Oh, no, he's faster than me. I should have stuck with quick attack. But okay, because quick attack is a priority move. Normally, without a priority move, the Pokemon that is faster goes first. Okay, rival has been defeated. You just lucked out. Okay, you get some money. Yeah, money later in the game is completely useless, but this early you really want to have it. Pokemon League is crawling with tough trainers. I have to figure out how to get past them. Quit dawdling. They just turned you away. But whatever. He's a jerk. So now, we can... Well, I'm going to go back to the Pokemon Center and heal, save my game, and that'll be the end of recording for episode 1. I don't know how long I've been recording, I honestly don't. I didn't look at the time at all when I started. So we'll see how long this is. Maybe I'll end up cutting out that grinding session, maybe I won't. Because I don't remember saying anything important during that, but then I've just been talking this whole time, so maybe I said something important, maybe I didn't. But this has been a great first episode. Next time I hope to get through the forest, the Viridian Forest, and maybe challenge Brock, but I would more or less have to cut out some grinding session if I wanted to fit that into the second episode. But Viridian Forest and grinding, second episode, Brock, third episode, or maybe tack Brock on the end of the second episode and cut out the grinding. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'm winging it. But I do thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys stick around to enjoy the future. Now I'm looking at the time here. He says game time 1 hour and 24 minutes, but I know most of that's because I kind of zoomed past part of it. So I don't know how long this has been. I guess we'll find out when I upload the video how long the video is. But thank you guys for watching, and catch you next time.